Hello everyone, my name is Manish Srinivasan and I'm doing this short video to take you through a course on competitive math that I'm offering in the first half of 2024. Let me just share screen. I'll be sharing this PDF along as well, but I thought if I just walk you through, it'll be easier as you go through it later. Okay, so I've labeled it as phase one meaning the first half of the year, where primarily it's the Canadian Olympiads and the Asian Olympiads. In phase two, or the latter part of the year, the focus will be more on the AMC 10 in particular, since I'm addressing this to 9th and 10th graders, and a few of the Asian Olympiads that are offered in the latter half of the year. Okay, so again, this is Manish Srinivasan. That's me, that's my number, that's my email. This program is meant for strong 9th and 10th graders who want to excel in math Olympiads. We all know that a lot of the STEM programs have come to expect some decent scores in the Olympiads. The duration of this course will be from mid-Jan to around late June, roughly around 5 months, 5 months approximately. And then the timing I'm proposing is Sunday, 5:30 in the evening, IST. I have to mention it's IST because some of the students on Zoom have been from other time zones as well. Roughly around 36 hours, 24 sessions of 1.5 hours each. And this is the class time when we'll be meeting. And I expect roughly around, for every hour of class time, around 1.5 hours of time at home, right? So 36 times 1.5 should come to 54, but I've been slightly on the lower side and mentioned it as 48 hours. So again, this is not set in stone, but the message you have to take from here is you cannot just attend the class and just be done with it. A good portion of the effort would come from you spending time on your own during the week, going through the lecture, struggling with the problems, and giving your blood and sweat. That's when you learn. Okay. Mode, all classes will be on Zoom and every class will be recorded and duly uploaded and shared. So this way, on any given day, someone is traveling, someone is not well, so you don't have to worry, you can always catch up. And even otherwise, even if you do attend, things might not be very clear in the first pass when done in class. So I always encourage all of my students to go through the recording once more. And the second pass, third pass, it definitely sticks in better, right? And you don't have to go through the entire video at the normal speed. You can just go at a 2x speed, and then, or maybe just zone in on the specific areas where specific intervals when you are not very clear. But if time permits, definitely why not the entire video? Okay. Approach. So the top math competitions are all vastly similar in difficulty and the topics tested, although there are a few variations. But so it's not going to be vastly different, right? If you're preparing for one of these, it'll come in equally handy for another exam as well, right? So there'll be a few differences in the formats, but we can adapt to it as we approach those exams. The batch size I'm looking at is around 12 to 15 students. And the target exam is the CEMC Waterloo exams and the Canadian Olympiads and the Asian Olympiads, as I just mentioned. So the exam dates, Asian Olympiads, there are a bunch of them. You don't need to appear in all of them. Maybe you can sample and pick 3 of them. I don't have a particular recommendation as such, but depending on how your other schedule looks like, you can appear for maybe 3 of them. GJ Mock, I must mention, is an advanced version of GJ Mat. It's not like a prereq. It's not like you have to write your GJ Mat to give your GJ Mock, but it's the same organization that's conducting GJ Mock and GJ Mat. Okay. And yeah, I must mention that if you do well in GJ Mat, then you get a discounted fee for GJ Mock. Otherwise, the fee is on the higher side. Higher side meaning all of these fees are in the range of 1,000 to 1,500 rupees. The registration fee I'm talking about for the exam. And GJ Mock alone is 4,000. But if you do well in GJ Mat, you get substantial discount. I don't know how much. I'm not involved much in the exam registration per se. But there is discount, that much I know. Okay. So you do not need to take all of these below. A few of the Asian Olympiads is good enough. And the CEMC exams, yeah, if you're in 9th grade, then you would appear Pascal and Fryer. If you're in 10th grade, then it'll be Kelly and Gillois. And have to do a separate one for separate PDF and video recording for the 11th graders. There's format and Hypatia for 11th graders as well. Okay, so this is a common batch for 9th and 10th graders. So you can appear for your Kelly and Galois because it's not going to be vastly different. If you're preparing for Kelly, you're already covered for Pascal. And if you're preparing for Pascal, I would like to challenge with some more difficult questions from Kelly. So it'll be a combined batch of 9th and 10th graders, although I expect most of the students would be from 9th grade, given the 10th students are more likely to be preparing for their boards in the first half of the year. Okay, the exam registration, like I said, CEMC is through T-loops. Although as we speak, things are evolving. There might be another agency through which the registration has to go through. When I say agency, it could be even your school. So some of the schools are allowing CEMC to be taken at their campus. And I'm given to understand that from this year, they are going back to the complete offline mode, which means you have to write it physically, right? No more online. But things are evolving by the day. But whatever it is, right, it's going to be uniform for everyone. So we don't have to worry too much. Asian Olympiads, the registration is through Global Olympiads Academy. I've given the link to it. I'm not involved again with registrations. Please contact the respective folks here mentioned in these hyperlinks for registration questions. Okay, the fee for this particular training session that I'm holding is 36,000, and I'll charge them in 2 installments. I'll make them payable in 2 installments. So 20K by early January, and then 16K after we start class. So the class is expected to start Jan 14th. So right after that, you may pay the second on the final installment. And the given like multiple modes of how you can pay the fees: cash, NEFT, or GPay. And I've given the links for the cash as well. Okay, and if you can please message me with a screenshot, I can easily tie who has paid and acknowledge immediately and promptly. Okay, and then this is a small write-up about myself. So I did my BTech from IIT Madras back in the mid-90s. Did masters in computer engineering from UT Austin. I worked in the US for about 12 odd years. And then along the way, I did another master's in computational finance or financial engineering. Moved back to India in 2010. But my teaching passion has continued all along. In the first 10 years, I was teaching in the New York area. And then after moving to India, I've been primarily in Mumbai. And then after COVID struck, it's all been on Zoom. Yeah, so you can read all of this. So most of my students have been from Mumbai, but after COVID, like once we started the Zoom model, there are students from all over. My focus areas for the last, I would say 3 or 4 years has been mostly on the Olympiads and IB and A levels. And these are my coordinates. Okay, so I'll stop here. The PDF also should reach you, but I thought with this recording, it'll be easier to go through and make sense out of it. Okay, see you in another video soon.